In the last 4 years, the nation did not record any fatal air crash. While the aviation sector battled with labor dispute, there are a few remodeling of some of the nation's airports. In our interview this week, the immediate past Minister of State for Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, talks about the state of infrastructure in the sector. Watch. Senator Hadi Sirika, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much indeed.
Let's look at the plan to demolish Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Many have, this is the busiest airport we have around. What necessitated this?
Well, the reason why we need to do so, there are many. One of them, Murtala Mohammed, is the airport, the premier airport that we have in the country.
Yes.
Making about 8 million passengers currently, out of the about 18 million that we have in Nigeria at the moment. Is a gateway, business gateway into the country, the largest airport. But unfortunately, since it was built in the 70s and early 80s, it was built to cater for 200,000 people. Now it's doing 80 million people. I described it, but I want to go more graphic to make the case. Assuming you have one bedroom house with one toilet, one wife, one son, one father, one husband, right? And you decide to keep that one structure, and you grew. You marry 4 more wives or 3 more wives to make them 4, and you give birth to 19 children. And you brought your aunt and uncle and cousin and friend all to live within that one bedroom house, one toilet, one kitchen, and they're using that facility. So you'd be needing to keep a plumber, an electrician, and a tiler, and a painter permanently on call, permanently on standby to fix those things that you'll be wasting. Because if 3 people are using one toilet, now they become 30 people using one toilet same day.
When do you plan to do this?
So, Murtala Mohammed needs a facelift, not only a facelift but an expansion, a tear down. And the architecture itself, when it was conceived, it's only one floor. Both arriving and departing passengers go through the same place. International civil aviation regulations now have changed that. You cannot have passengers going in and coming in and going out, going through the same thing. We are able to demarcate them in Lagos by glass. I'm sure you saw that. Yes. So we need to create another floor. It's arriving passengers and departing passengers, so they don't mix. The reason why they don't mix, so there is no drug exchange, there is no currency exchange, there is no all of these unwanted things that are happening in the airport. And even for facilitation, for quick facilitation of passengers. So we need to tear it down, expand it, and have it have a new look. When are we doing it? Very soon, as soon as we finish the current terminal called Chinese terminal in quotation. Once we finish it towards the end of the year, we'll now move half of the airport into the new building, then bring down the half, tear it down, and expand it. And when we finish it, then we put part of passenger there and we'll open the other section. So we've already engaged a contractor for that. We have a consultant in place. So this will be very soon.
What about plans to concession some of the nation's airports? Have you discussed with the unions?
Oh yeah, of course. I read something very funny, and that there was no consultation. It's total lies. It is on record. I am the only minister that officially had sat with stakeholders, not only union of course, many times. I cannot count the number of times I sat with unions to discuss the roadmap, which concession is part of, and to try to explain to them what I'm doing. I always get their buy-in. I had done 6 stakeholder meetings since I became minister. 2 in Lagos, 4 in Abuja. And plus more than a dozen of informal stakeholder meetings that I'll just call maybe airline operators of Nigeria or the unions. Or I've done those ones like, I don't know, maybe over about 30 since I became minister. I'm always meeting with them. So it has their buy-in, they agree. It makes sense. Concession just makes sense. I always give them this analogy that you have, like I used to, you have a 7,000 square meter of land, say in Ikoyi, like I used to have, and you have only one and a half bedroom in there. Now someone comes to you and said, well, we will build give us that land on concession, we build a 10-story building, and we have 2 houses in there for you. That is 20 houses. Okay? Then, if I were to give rent on that single apartment that I have, or single bungalow that I have, perhaps maybe I would be charging something, let's say 10 million for one house. But now I have 20 houses. I can even have 30. Improved ones, with tennis court, with swimming pool, with squash court, with everything, with independent power, with water, everything. I can decide to charge 10 million per annum. If there are 30 units there, it's 300 million. I can be getting maybe like 50 million or 100 million from the guy for 20 years. He will be making 200 million. He makes back his money. I have gone with 100 million as against 10 million annum. And at the end, the property is mine. So this government, which is social democratic government in place, is not in the business and will not be in the business of selling public assets. Because they've been sold in the past, and we've seen that how it went. We lost the property, we lost the assets, and there's no value. So this time around, we decided that we can concession them, give them to private sector to utilize them or to bring them to shape, good shape, and we drive money or get money from it, and they benefit as well. And then the service is improved. If it is house, the house is improved. So for airports, we will concession them. We have appointed transaction advisor. He has come back with an outline business case, which we just adjusted a few things. I will send it back to him. He's bringing it back maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, and then it will go to ICRC, who will give us a certificate, and we'll go to market. And already there are more than 13 companies wanting these airports. But one thing I want to add here, whoever becomes the next minister, I know that there is a cluster of state governments who want to buy these airports or who want to get these airports on concession. That will not happen, because it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's just like taking from one government to give to another government. State governments are also governments. They are inefficient as much as the federal government is. So we would not give those
How would you guide against that? I mean, you don't see them physically. You don't even know who owns what.
No, what? So long as they come in a private sector or from private sector, yes, we will sell it to them. They can form a company if they want, and we'll go through them. Due diligence will be done, by the way, and to ensure that this is true private sector who have capacity, who have experience. You can't just spring up for me and say you want to run the airport. For example, I know Bayo Ogulesi, who owns part of Gatwick Airport. If he comes up, in my due diligence, it will show me that this is the guy who is running Gatwick Airport, so he can run Lagos for me. Okay? If TAV comes, if many of them, there are so many, Aéroport du Paris, whatever, if they come and say they are managers of airports, I will do my due diligence and then let them have it. Because it's going to be transparently done and very competitive. And there is web portal by ICRC where all these things will be uploaded, so people can see it's being done transparently. Secondly, real time. Secondly, we have also a website. Thirdly, there is Freedom of Information Act in place. Whoever wants any information will get it from us. This is guaranteed. So therefore, it's going to be very transparent, and people will participate. Whoever wins has won. There's no friend of minister or from above. There is no above. The kind of government President Muhammadu Buhari operates, he doesn't give you orders from above, do this for me. No.
Thank you very much for your time, Senator Hadi Sirika, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Now, next week, we'll be concluding that conversation, and then we will lay our focus on the Nigeria Air project. In the meantime, feel free to send your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handles on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezike. See you again.